Hi, my friends. Steven here. I am riding solo on this podcast, but I think it's going to be a really good episode for my emerging entrepreneur friends, the ones that are thinking about starting a business in 2025. We're getting close to the end of the year, and I don't know about you, but I've got some big goals for next year. And if one of those goals for you is starting a new business, or maybe taking your side hustle to another level, becoming a solopreneur, maybe it's, looking at how do I accomplish all of that? How do I set this up? How do I grow this business? And what are the various strategies that I can take advantage of from an income standpoint, tax strategy? Perhaps you've got kids and you want to set them up and generate some legacy, generational wealth. How can I do this through an entrepreneurship endeavor? And so I'm an advocate for entrepreneurship. I've been a business owner for about 7.5 years in the payroll industry, and I've done that under the Journey Payroll franchise brand, where my franchise is located in Phoenix, Arizona. And I've learned a lot about the back office of setting up businesses or processing the back office for small businesses. I've learned a lot about what's possible, different types of business ideas. There's so many crazy things out there that people do and earn income and bring value to their customers, the marketplace. And so I think this was just a really neat opportunity here to share my knowledge on setting up a business and kind of give you a nudge towards the right direction and make sure that entrepreneurship is for you. Because I do believe that while it's possible for anyone to do it, I don't think everyone should. And so I think it's an opportunity to learn about, maybe if it makes sense to jump into the entrepreneurial pond. And if that's one of your big goals, then I'm going to lay it out a little bit on what you should do to set it up the right way to ensure success. After all, this is the SuccessFlow podcast, and we talk a lot about life and various things and mindset. But I think this will be a very small business entrepreneur, solopreneur heavy episode that is needed for a lot of people out there to ensure success in their life and doing it through the entrepreneurship journey. So with that said, if that's you and you are excited about hearing about these things and you are looking at your goals for 2025 and starting a business is one of those goals, then the first thing you got to ask yourself is why? Why do you even want to start this thing? What's the purpose? What's your vision for what this could look like? If you only think that starting a business is going to make you a millionaire or bring in a ton of money and all the things you see on social media with the houses and the cars and, sitting courtside at the NBA games or 50-yard line row one and, or maybe getting on, those amazing concert tickets or whatever. And you think that's what's going to help you get there. Yes, maybe in the long run, but I can promise you, if that's the only reason that you're looking to start a business is financial reasons, I think you're starting off on the wrong foot already. It takes time and it takes a lot of effort and grit and tenacity and resilience to get to that level. It doesn't happen without hard work and it doesn't happen overnight. And so you can find yourself, if that's the sole reason that you want to start a business is to make a lot of money, then I think you might be a little upset that it doesn't happen as quickly as you hoped, and that you might burn out and stop altogether. So if you want to start a business, the point is figure out what your why is. Do you have a problem to solve? Do you have a great solution for a need for customers that you can bring value? Is there something that is happening in your industry that you think you can do a lot better? And you want to develop relationships and get out there in the marketplace to serve at a high level. Now, whether you're already have a side hustle or you're just starting to think about maybe an industry shift to something else, think about the different types of licenses or certifications you may need. Maybe you're in corporate America right now and you want to become a health insurance broker to help small businesses or individuals with their health insurance coverage. Well, you're going to need to get licensed in the state that you operate in to do those things. Or maybe you're currently working at a trade company, maybe in plumbing or electrical or pool or whatever, and you want to go off on your own and start your own business because you think you can bring a higher level of service and take care of your customers at a higher level. understand what the industry entails is one of the first steps. So what do you need to bring, to be legitimized, to bring your expertise? What do you need to learn? What skills do you already have? What skills do you need to pick up? And deciding what, if that makes sense for you. So let's say you've got the idea, you know exactly what it is you want to do. And now you want to actually start the business. What's the first thing that you need to do? Well, the number one thing is get yourself an EIN number. So the IRS has the Federal Employer Identification Number, or an FEIN, which is basically like the Social Security number for your business. If you do that right away, here's a trick. Once you get that letter and the date that's on that letter, in the IRS's eyes, that's the date you started your business. Whether you started earning income right then and there, doesn't matter, but you started your business on that date. You can leverage that letter when you're going out into the marketplace to for loans, or need to share that you've been in business for a certain number of years or whatever. It's that date on that letter that those banks or other companies, lenders will look at to say, hey, you started your business on December 15, 2024, when you really didn't start earning income maybe until March of 2025. But by the time you hit, that 2-year mark or 3-year mark or whatever, usually banks like to see some business history of about 2 years for lending, and they'll look at that date on the EIN letter. So get your EIN. That tells the IRS that, hey, I'm starting a business and I've legitimized it, and now here's my EIN number. All right, and then the next step is getting registered with the state that you plan to operate in. All right, so when you go, let's say Arizona, for instance, you want to get your articles of organization set up. It's super easy to do. Just go online to the Arizona's website and get your articles filed. And then also you want to set up your Secretary of State. Some states require, there may be a fee associated with that. The articles, there's a fee. I think it's like $50 or something. You can expedite it if you need to. But you want to get those 3 things set up: the EIN, the articles of organization, and registered with the Secretary of State. And then now you've got a business entity formed. If you're going to have a business partner, so I am an advocate of solopreneurship and an advocate of entrepreneurship. I think there's not necessarily any right or wrong way, but I do believe that having a partner in your business, if you can bring someone on board that shares the same mission, the same vision, the same excitement that you have to get this thing off the ground and really crush your goals and be super successful, having a business partner will go a long way in making this a little bit easier as an entrepreneur. So when you have this person that's in it with you, in the day-to-day, in the grind, trying to get the foundation built, as opposed to doing it all on your own, yeah, you're going to give up equity, you're going to share the business, you're going to share the equity and all of that stuff. But it's invaluable to have that person you can brainstorm ideas with, you can bounce ideas off of, and you can collaborate with one another on what you think the best approach is. Solopreneurship, I think, is absolutely doable. I know a lot of people that are successful in doing that. You're on an island when you're an entrepreneur. There's not a lot of people out there that understand the ins and outs of how this works, and the things that you go through. And so having that person that you can talk to goes a long way, especially if your spouse is not, say you're married or your significant other, and they're not involved in the business. You can't rely on them or expect them to be there for you in terms of the things that you're going through day in and day out as an entrepreneurship, especially if they're not an entrepreneur themselves. So surround yourself around people who understand this, whether it's bringing on a business partner or if you're going to go at it alone. You want to find a circle of influence, people that can inspire and motivate you, that you can share vulnerabilities with, and just kind of continue learning and growing with like-minded individuals. Whether it's through a mastermind group or a referral networking group or business group, there's all sorts of them out there. I'm an advocate of BNI, which is Business Networking International. I've been a part of BNI for 7 years, and it's the way we grow our business through referral. And so that's the other type of thing that you need to think about when you're setting up your business. How am I going to sell? How am I going to bring new clients? What's my marketing strategy? You've got to think about how you're going to do this. Maybe you're a seasoned salesperson leaving corporate America and you're going on your own. Well, now you don't have the systems, the tools, the branding, all of the things that you had before. So you got to go build that. You got to bring market awareness. So how are you going to do this? I think the easiest way to do it, it's a long play. It's a long-term play. It's more like farming than hunting, is to develop relationships and find your power partners. BNI allows you to do that. You lock down your category, whatever chapter you join. For instance, I'm the payroll guy in my chapter, and there's no other payroll person in there. And so when I develop relationships with the people in my group, not only do I develop business relationships, but I develop friendships. And then they think of me when they know someone who needs my services that I can provide. So finding a BNI chapter is a really great way to grow your business, especially if you're marketing to consumer individuals or marketing to small businesses as a B2B market or service that you may provide. The other way, obviously, is direct sales. So direct sales meaning cold outreach, email, phone calls, getting your prospecting list together, doing multi-touch campaigns. Multi-touch campaigns is like, I like the 5 to 7 touch. Starting off with an email, introducing yourself and what you do, maybe sharing a story or an article grabs attention, make sure you have a good subject line, and then following up with that email. If you don't get a response, with another email. So that's your second touch, saying, hey, just following up on what I sent you a couple days ago. Let me know if you're interested. Touch base if you can. The less pushy and more value is going to go a long way in your emails to prospects. And then maybe the third touch is a phone call, reaching out to them via phone, referencing the emails that you sent, leaving a voicemail. Your fourth touch is connecting on LinkedIn, saying, hey, how's it going? This is who I am. This is what I do. I provide value for XYZ company. They're in your industry. Are you interested in speaking with me? And then fifth touch is maybe another email that you sent. And then maybe 6 or 7 is sending something in the mail. A great tool for this is one of my good friends, Jordan Adler, send out cards. You can sign up for send out cards and send a card in the mail. And that just gives another touch. And then 7, maybe is another phone call, email, or LinkedIn message, something like that. And then if you don't hear from them, you do that 5 to 7 touch over a 10-day span. If you don't hear from them, move them to in your pipeline, keeping track of your prospects, and follow up with them again next quarter, and just keep that cycle. And I always have of the mentality of it's never a no, it's always a not yet. So that need will come, especially when you've proven that there is a need in the marketplace, and they will touch base with you, and then it's your opportunity to have that discovery call and close the deal. The other way, obviously, is social media. So people like to follow people. They like to follow people who understand what they're talking about. So getting on social media, getting comfortable with being uncomfortable on video and posting and sharing your story, sharing the value that you bring. And it doesn't have to be viral. You don't have to have millions of followers, but you have to have quality followers that are in your industry that will want to understand. And it's how you know, like, and trust. That's people who work with people, and they learn about you on social media, and they want to work with the ones that know, like, and trust you. So social media, direct sales, or referral, relationship building, referral organizations are a great way to grow your business. All right. So now you've got your marketing strategy, you've got your business all set up, you've got your partnerships and everything. The next step is to understand how you're going to fund. How are you going to raise capital to fund your business? Obviously, you're going to have expenses before revenues come in. Now, this is obviously speaking in terms of you starting from complete scratch. You don't have that side hustle yet, but you're now needing income, right, in order to generate profits and to have money in the business account to manage your expenses, your marketing dollars, your operational expenses. What does all that look like if you're going to hire staff, to handle wages and labor and those sorts of things. So funding, there's multiple ways you can set up and find funding. You can ask your friends and family. Maybe it's self-funded. Say, hey, I'm starting this thing. And you ask them, would you want to be a part of it? And maybe it's a loan structure. Make sure you get an agreement in place. Don't do handshake deals with friends and family. It always ends badly. So make sure if you're going to go that route, you've got an agreement in place and you stick to the schedule. Don't over promise and under deliver, especially when it comes to money. Don't miss payments back to them if it's a loan. You need to be careful with this because you don't want to ruin relationships over something that may take a little bit longer. You want to make sure that you can handle the repayment plan. I like working with small, mid-sized banks, regional banks. I think they're more small business friendly, a little bit more accessible. It's a great way to get set up with funding fast. A lot of them will offer line of credits, or they may offer small business loans, either themselves or through the SBA. And so that'll help getting funding in your account, operating expenses right off the bat. The first thing is you're not going to want to pay yourself right away. So you're going to have savings. You're going to have the ability to live as if you're not making an income. The whole purpose of starting a business and getting it going and just is building the foundation. You don't want to take dollars out of the business unnecessarily. So be sure that you're okay with not taking a salary right away until you achieve that business growth that allows you to start earning some of that income. Now, another neat way, let's say you're coming from corporate America or some other business and you've been contributing to a retirement account. Let's say you've been contributing to your 401k or an IRA or a Roth account. You have the ability, the IRS allows you to take a loan from your own retirement account. Tax-free, penalty-free, no problem. So you can take a loan up to half of your balance or $50,000, whichever is greater. Whichever is lower. So if you have more than $100,000 in your retirement account, you can take a $50,000 loan from yourself. If you have less than $100,000, then you can only take half of that. The max is $50K. You can take a $50,000 loan from your retirement account, penalty free, put it right into your business, use it as startup costs and operational expenses. And then all you have to do is pay yourself back. Now, there are rules to, it's a 5-year loan repayment plan. You can do less if you want, but the max that you're allowed to do is 5 years, and you're paying yourself interest on that loan repayment plan. So you may say, well, if I take money out of my retirement account, then it's not being invested and I'm not earning, it's not growing. Yeah, that may be true. You're not in the market, but those funds are helping you grow a business for legacy or whatever it is that you're trying to do. And as long as you're making those repayments, so again, just like asking friends and family for money, you've got to make sure that you can build something, you have the foundation to be able to make those repayments, but you're paying yourself interest. You don't need a bank. You don't need anyone else involved. It's your own retirement funds, and you can do it penalty free. The IRS allows you to do this, and you can do it multiple times depending on the 401k plan that you have set up. So if you have a 401k from a previous employer, roll it over into your own employer-sponsored plan, a solo 401k or some other 401k plan that you can get set up, and then you can take a loan from that to get your business started. So that's one way that not a lot of people know about, and it's a great strategy, and you're allowed to do it. All right, so you've got funding, you got the marketing strategy, you got the baseline, you've got your LLC, you've got your EIN. All of that is needed to set up your business checking account. You provide your EIN, your articles of organization, you've got your business checking account. Now, I want to take a step back here and talk to my freelancers right now. The ones that are doing side hustles, the ones that are earning income, maybe it's the ones that are doing, maybe you're a photographer for weddings, or maybe you own a pet sitting business, but you're earning income and it's just being deposited into your personal checking account. All right, so let's say you're bringing in $20, $30, $40, $50,000 a year of side hustle money, and maybe it's a coaching business or whatever it is. You're earning income and you're having the people pay you through Venmo, PayPal, and it's going into your personal account. I urge you to consider setting this up as an LLC and having those funds deposited into a business checking account. And here's the reason why. Let's say you are earning a W-2 income at your employer, and then you've got this side hustle. It's got another $50,000 coming in. Let's say you add that all up and you're earning $100,000, $150,000, whatever it is. Well, that $50,000 that's being deposited into your personal account from this side hustle is not reported anywhere, right? So number one, it's a business and compliance, and you want to make sure you're out of harm's way with the IRS. It's reportable income. You want to make sure you are following through on your obligations as a citizen here and paying your taxes as much as we don't want to. But number two, it's not reportable. So if you go to get a loan for a new home, or you need a loan for whatever else, you need to go talk to a lender and they're going to say, what's your income picture look like? And you put that $50,000 in there, there's nothing, and they ask for statements to prove that this income is coming in and it's going to you personally. You can't report that. It's not going to be reportable income anywhere. So you're not able to leverage that extra $50K to gain more capital or go buy a home that you may looking for. You may not qualify because that $50K is not going to be included in the whole financial picture. So that's one reason. The second reason is if you have that coming into your business entity, now you can pay expenses as a write-off. You deduct it from, it's an expense, it's a business expense. You deduct it from your business, and now your taxable income is lowered. So if you're a wedding photographer and you need new equipment, instead of paying for it personally, which doesn't, you're paying for it, it's out of pocket, and you're paying for it personally. If you pay for it out of your business, now it's a write-off, and it's an expense. So if you make $50,000 a year and you spend $2,000 equipment, well, now your outlets, assuming no other expenses, which is not the case, but now your reportable income is only 48,000 versus 50,000, right? And so you're paying less in taxes, but you just got new equipment paid for by the business. So you want to set it up as a business entity so you can take advantage of writing off bona fide business expenses instead of personally paying for those, because then you'll be filing taxes on all of it as opposed to the net profits that you set up as an LLC. So as an LLC owner, you are set up as it's a pass-through entity, which means that the income that you make, profits minus expenses, that bottom number, the net income, is a pass-through down to you as the owner, and that is considered income. Even though you may not be taking any of that income in your own personal account, let's say you profit $50,000 and you're not actually taking any money out of the business, and you're reinvesting that into the business, the IRS doesn't care. If it's reported net income, you're paying taxes on that full amount. And you're paying not only federal and state income taxes, you're paying self-employment tax. And that is 15.3%. So $15,300 if you're bringing in $100,000 net income from your business. So when you start making enough money and you start being profitable and you start working and you get to that point, you want to talk to your CPA about becoming an S corporation, making the tax election as an S corp. And S corp is a subchapter S corporation as a small business. You're now telling the IRS as an S corp, I want to be taxed. And I am now an owner employee of my own business. Why do you want to do this? The reason why is because you want to get rid of the self-employment tax. You're no longer self-employed. You're an owner employee of your own business. And you're going to take a W-2 wage. You're now going to set up a reasonable salary for your business. So out of that $100,000 of net income, let's say you set up a reasonable salary. And again, I'm not an accountant, but you want to talk to your CPA about this. But let's say your reasonable salary for easy round numbers is $50,000 for the work that you do. That's a reasonable salary. You take that $50,000 and you pay yourself wages, Social Security, Medicare, just like your normal paycheck that you used to. You have those taxes that are deducted. Social Security, Medicare, all of that is deducted from the $50,000. The additional $50,000 in profit, right? So now you're taking that as an expense and you only have $50,000 left over in profit. The 15.3% goes away. You don't have that 15.3% self-employment tax. You're only paying the 15.3 on the $50,000 in wages, which is now called the payroll tax, Social Security, Medicare. So that $100,000 LLC that you originally had set up, you're paying 15.3%, $15,300 on all your income plus federal and state income on the personal level. Well, when you're an S corp, you're only paying 15.3 on 50,000. So you just cut that 15,300 in half. You just saved yourself $7,650 in self-employment tax. So it's a great strategy. Once you become profitable, talk to your CPA about becoming an S corp so you can save a bunch of money in taxes, and then you can leverage that to reinvest back in your business. All right. So you've got a business, you're growing, you're scaling, you're profitable enough, you are an S corp, and now you're talking about scaling to adding staff. This is where we shine, is what we handle for a lot of our small business clients. It's the hiring process, the HR process. And I just really, really want to stress the importance of making sure that when you're bringing people on, that you're classifying them correctly. The last thing you need when you're building your dream and you've got your business going is to misclassify employees as 1099 versus W-2, and then a disgruntled employee leaves and the Department of Labor reports you, and the Department of Labor starts knocking on your door, and now you've got all this stuff you got to deal with, and it just derails the motivation and the track that you're on. So it's important to make sure you set it up correctly up front when you're hiring staff. So the first thing is deciding, am I bringing on 1099 contractors or am I bringing on W-2 employees? There's a distinct difference. Some of it might be gray, but err on the side of caution. And if you are managing these employees, if you're setting their schedule, if they're wearing your logo in your shirt, if you are in the trades and you have a pest control company and they're driving your trucks, they're using your iPads to manage their schedule, and they're using the CRM and all that stuff, they're more than likely a W-2 employee. If you are a contractor, maybe a construction, or you're outsourcing certain things, maybe you're in the media business, or you're putting on podcasts like this and you have somebody editing your your videos, and it's contract work, and they're just editing. You're not managing them. You're just saying, hey, this is ready. Go knock out the project, and you pay them a fee for that. That is a contracted employee, or not employee. That is a contractor, typically another business entity that you are paying to provide service. That is a contractor. So a big red flag is when you bring on people and they want to be a contractor to save on taxes, because you're paying them a flat fee. They are responsible for paying the taxes themselves as a self-employed individual. But if they're filling out a W-9, which is the form you'd have them fill out, they're filling it out with their own social security number and not a business EIN, you might want to think about, the IRS looks at that. If you're filing a bunch of 1099s to personal level, they might look at that as potentially being a red flag. And like, are they truly contractors, or are they more like employees? Because again, a contractor is someone that is operating a business themselves, doing project work for other people or businesses. A W-2 employee, you get to manage. They sign your employee handbook. They have a job description. They have roles and responsibilities that you get to dictate for what's required in order to grow your business. They fall in line with the culture and the core values that you have and the vision that you have. A contractor can come and go as they want. An employee also can come and go as they want, but you have a little bit more control over those types of things. A W-2 employee, you obviously have to pay taxes, right? There's employer taxes. You deduct taxes from their pay. And you have to manage the onboarding process with, the employment eligibility forms and W-4 federal tax election forms, state tax election forms, direct deposit. That's where we would come in and handle the payroll processing piece. But when you're looking at classifying your employees, there's a test on the IRS website, and you can kind of answer these questions of, are they a contractor or a W-2? I just can't stress this enough. Make sure you're classifying your employees correctly, because they do get unemployment benefits if they are ever let go or terminated from the business. As a W-2 employee, they do not get unemployment benefits if they are a contractor. So if you have someone who thinks they're an employee, but you're paying them as a contractor, and then they're let go and then they go to apply for unemployment benefits, that's where those sorts of red flags can start popping up for your business. So you want to make sure you're protected there. Okay, not to scare you there, but it's important for you to know. Now, one last strategy that I wanted to talk to you about. You've got an amazing business. You got things going. If you have children and you want to build generational wealth, think about hiring your kids. The IRS says that typically, rule of thumb, 7 or 8 years old makes them bona fide an opportunity to hire your children for various things. Maybe it's leveraging them for social media. Maybe you want to start a dental practice and you've got your kids posted on the dental practice website, or you've got them on social media. And you're off on your own. You can hire your children and pay them up to the tax deduction limit. Each year it changes around $13,000, $14,000 roughly. And you can pay them up to that limit tax-free. Now you can obviously pay them more, but the income level, once it exceeds that $14,000, $15,000, whatever it is, then you're in the 10% tax bracket and beyond. And obviously they pay taxes there. But if you wanted to do a tax-free income to your children, paying them, keeping track of hours worked and things like that, it's a business expense, so it lowers your net profits, right? Which is a good thing in terms of tax liability. You're not making any less, but now instead of you setting up a savings account to your children after taxes, you now can set up a savings account for your children, hiring them as employees, doing work for your business. And now you set up a savings account and deposit that money into that savings account. And that continues to help in savings. Or you can set up what's called a Roth IRA, which is an individual retirement account for your child. You set it up as a custodial account, so you manage it, but it's their Roth. They will have access to it at the age of 18 or 21, depending on state rules. But you can contribute up to $7,000 per year in a Roth IRA. A Roth IRA is after-tax contributions. It's not pre-tax money. You're not taking the tax benefit or anything like that. But you contribute $7,000 into a Roth, and that continues to grow year over year over year, invested, and it's tax-free money. A Roth means that you're paying for it after taxes. So you pay them a wage working in your business. Maybe half of it goes to a savings account. The other half goes to a Roth IRA. And you do that every year until however long they're employed within your business. And that compounds over time. So when they hit retirement age, that income or that Roth money, the retirement money that they are able now to take out of that account is tax-free. And it's grown over time. Say average is 10% year over year. I don't know what the math is, but $7,000 every single year, over time, they'll be millionaires in their retirement accounts. And you started this by hiring them and putting in some money into their retirement account. Now, you don't have to do 7,000. The minimum is next to zero. You can do as much as you can up until that point, but the max is 7,000, and then they can take over their own Roth. So just another really cool strategy, setting up your side hustle as an LLC, as a business, making the S Corp election for you to save on personal taxes. If you hire your kids, they're tax free. There will be Social Security, Medicare if they're hired under the S Corp, or if you set up a separate LLC just for them, and then the S Corp pays the LLC for their work, then they're tax free. And so there's a lot of strategy in how you set up these entities. And it's all legal. It's just all understanding how to, what the strategies are, how to set this up. So if your goals are to set up a business in 2025, I'm excited for you. I know you're going to crush your goals. I encourage you to set it up the right way. If you have any questions or need any resources, feel free to reach out to me. I'm an advocate for entrepreneurship. This is the stuff that I breathe every day. And I am excited for what the future holds for us small business owners, entrepreneurs, solopreneurs. I really think that in the grand scheme of things, with all of the things that are changing in the world with AI and technology, there's no better way to start a business. I think anybody can do it. I don't think everybody can do it, though. You have to have the grit, the tenacity. You have to have the resilience. It's not easy. I'm not saying that at all. You're going to have to go into it all in, no plan B, and just make it happen. You'll go through the ups and downs, but I promise you that you challenge yourself on purpose and you make things happen. It'll take longer than you think, but in the end, you'll have something that you're proud of, and it'll be very fruitful for you. And you just continue pushing for whatever those goals are. And if it's entrepreneurship, I applaud you. Welcome to the entrepreneurial pond, and surround yourself around like-minded individuals, and you will continue to grow and be as successful as your wildest dreams. So again, I hope there was some value in this and how to set up your LLC, the reasons why you want to set up an LLC, how to fund it, what it looks like from a marketing sales strategy, what the expenses look like, put together your pre-launch forecast, your business plan, all this stuff before you actually start to make sure it's something that you want to do and you're excited about. And again, the reasons why you want to do this, don't let it be about money. That will come because the reasons why you want to do it is bringing value to the marketplace and serving at a high level. And then some of these other back-end strategies to help you from a tax perspective, and also to set yourself up with your kids, if you have them, for generational wealth. Again, reach out to me. I'm a resource. I hope this was some value, and finish the year strong in 2024 and crush your goals in 2025. Cheers, y'all.